How can I help y'all?
End of practice, is that just a natural thing that happens when the pads come on day one?
Yeah, we've already been here a whole week. Guys aren't sleeping very well, away from their families. You put on pads. The anticipation behind pads can build up. It's just a more physical game out there when the pads are on. So, yeah, stuff like that, especially in the first day, is going to happen. It's unfortunate at times, but at times you work through some stuff and come out as a better team on the other side, which I feel like is the case in this instance.
Have you ever seen a quarterback initiate it?
If I have, it's been few and far between. It's just a bunch of fiery competitors out there, regardless of who it is. When Josh comes out like that and has a show of emotion like that, you definitely catches your eye. But in the end, it's one of those things that never takes its way to the locker room. And I think it was a lesson learned for all of us.
Is the radar up a little bit more for you guys when you see Josh involved in that as opposed to maybe somebody else?
Yeah, immediately you want him out of that pile. So, emotions are allowed to get high. This is an emotional sport. Tensions run high at times. But you never want it to be carried over or carried away and then someone get hurt. And then you have some real trouble on your hands, and then things escalate quickly.
The offensive line has had some shifting early on, and we talked to Dion earlier, and he said, since I've been here, I've always had shifting. Knowing that some guys are out right now, would you rather have that and get comfortable playing next to a lot of guys, or how do you view both of those sides? Getting comfortable with possibly the starting five, or kind of shifting a lot here in the first week?
It's kind of the it's training camp through and through, right? It's the epitome of training camp is guys shuffling around. Injuries or personal matters take people away from the game or away from their position, along with just the natural shuffling to get guys ready, and also to just see where guys can play, so that when the preseason games come around, they can be in a position where they can show off, and even if it's not here, they can play somewhere else, or show our staff that they can be a valuable asset backing up other places on the line. So it's just kind of like the perfect thing, kind of meshed in this instance. Just speaking on Dion, don't know much about what's going on, but we're all praying for him. And we wish that you guys would do the same, and we're thinking about him.
Is there, you're in these offensive meeting rooms with the new offensive line coach, and you get into camp, and all of a sudden you're looking around, 4 projected starters aren't in there with you. Is there any concern? And as a leader, what's your message to maybe some of these younger guys getting reps?
Well, first of all, our younger guys are guys who have had a collective of, I think our second line at one point had 180 combined starts together, which is pretty remarkable and invaluable asset in that, which is just game reps. You don't want to see guys get hurt, right? The unfortunate thing is it's the reality of this business, and it's really a next man up. And right now we have some time for guys to heal and guys to step in and show what they can do. And I think the guys who are doing that are doing a very good job of that. And it's a testament to Coach Cromer, having the card shuffled for him right off the rip. So we'll see what happens.
How do you think things are going from the operational standpoint of a new offensive coordinator, a new voice, getting plays in and out, all that kind of stuff?
I think it's going as good as you can hope for. There's days where I think we can all help them out. I think today is one of those days where execution at times wasn't the best, and I'll put that on me for the offensive line and stuff like that. So they have a vision, and they're doing the best they can to kind of express that vision. Certain guys take information different ways. A message that resonates with me just might not hit someone else's brain. So sometimes it's just about repetition and saying something differently, even if it has the same answer to it. So that's kind of what we're doing right now, and we're all trying to get each other on the same page, and guys helping guys. And it's a fairly veteran room, which is kind of fun to see, and something that I didn't have when I was a rookie. So trying to get the rookies up to speed on that and go from there.
What's it been like working with Eric Cromer for the first time?
It's awesome. It's a new challenge, right? Every offensive line coach you have elevates your game, challenges you to do something new, and every offensive line coach, it seems for me at the time that I get to work with them, is the exact person that I need to help me. Whether it was Coach Heck in Kansas City, Bobby Johnson these last few years, and now Coach Cromer. And I think he's got a vision for what he wants his offensive line to be. He's done it for a very long time. And just kind of like I said before, he's trying to get everyone on the same page, even if it's saying the same thing a bunch of different ways.
There was a point during the season last year where the team struggled to run the ball a little bit, and Sean actually said, look, that's something that you need to figure out in training camp. Fast forward, almost a year later. Have you seen kind of an emphasis on, hey, we need to figure that aspect out while we're here leading into the season?
Yeah, I mean, the pressure's always on to perform in the run game, right? It naturally sets everything else up, puts you in positions where you're not relying on the pass and putting guys who want to hunt the quarterback in that position. So, like I said, Coach Cromer's really trying to get his philosophy alongside with what the other coaches want, and we're really trying to hammer that in now. And now that we have the pads on, we have an opportunity to do that a little bit more. And it really is just going to be repetition after repetition. I don't think we're anywhere close to where we need to be. We have the foundation of what we know we want to be. Right now, it's just about executing, and that's kind of the task we're dealt with.
You had a front row seat to Ed Alver the past 3 years. What improvements have you seen this training camp that you haven't seen in the previous?
Yeah, I think Ed's playing his best football right now. He's really has a perceptual understanding of the game, what an offense is going to do in certain when we're lined up in certain things, and along with his God-given talent, which is just speed and power. I think he's got a great combination of both, and he's really kind of opening up the defense and is playing really good football, and makes it hell on us. But we're really excited to see what he can do for our team.
From an offensive line standpoint, when you have a guy like that and then you add a guy like Vaughn, you always kind of have to have eyes on him.
Right.
What does that do for maybe some of the more under the radar players, or maybe some of the players who are more rotational?
Well, I think Brandon brought in a plethora of guys who can really play defensive line. It's an embarrassment of riches almost, and it's not lost upon us as an offensive line that we have the opportunity to go against a great defense, with Coach at the helm. And Coach Washington has really got those guys on the same page. And like you said, you bring in a guy like Vaughn, and we have our backups in right now on paper, right? The guy's getting invaluable reps, and Vaughn is very gracious with what he's saying. He's been around the block a time or two. And then if you ever put him on the same side as Ed, it's almost it's a little bit cheating, because two guys who are not only gifted but love football and play it exceptionally well.
Mitch, when you have a new offensive line coach, the offensive line is all about technique, whether it's hand placement or your feet or how you're moving together. Do most offensive line coaches teach similar things, or when you get a new offensive line coach, when you talk about philosophy, when you talk about the technique, can it be really different, or how is that evolution or changeover when you get somebody new?
Yeah, that's a great question. Every offensive line coach is different with techniques, what they want to see, how they envision the depth, or how they envision helps, one guy helping another guy, how they envision protection being done, and how that dictates where guys are and how they set. So every coach is very different. It's a great challenge, but you also understand what works and go from there.